Well, time to do my final voiceover for, 2 weeks. Hello, the internet. Welcome to episode 55. This does not mean you are not getting episodes, because this is the end of me having to pre-record a week in advance, which means I don't have to do recording next weekend, which means it's 2 weekends before I have to do anything. There's no graphing videos, basically. This is just me being pre-prepared and sulking that I've managed to bring it upon myself that I have to get 4 voiceovers done in one day. Welcome to Building the Zoo, and today we are going to be working on our little, rainforest aquarium thing. That is the best way I can describe it. So I absolutely adore going to Whipsnade Zoo. And when we go there, they have a butterfly house and they have a caiman there, and I think they have some snakes. It's like the reptile house, effectively, except it's not reptiles because we don't really have many reptiles in Minecraft. And I wanted to do a big interior kind of building, greenhousey thing that I could put the smaller animals in, with the exception of armadillos. But things that you'd expect could feasibly be in a jungly environment. So it's like a warm building, right? And yeah, that's effectively what this is. Today's block colour palette will consist of obviously a bunch of natural spawning woods that are relevant to the biome. Woods, blocks, things. As well as green terracotta and glass as the main structure of the building. And I went with the green terracotta because I figured it will serve pretty well as a background, particularly for a jungle, because obviously it keeps going. So I wasn't going to build super detailed backgrounds because 1, I don't have chisel and bits. 2, this is a very small exhibit. You're never going to get a detailed background. I think I did change it up for one of them, maybe. We'll get to that. But yeah, so I used some tuff because I really like the texture of that to make a little waterfall at the back, because this is the frog exhibit. I adore Minecraft frogs. They are potentially one of my favourite animals that they've brought in. I love when they bring in the frogs and the armadillos and the cute little animals that they don't really have a mass load of purpose to the game, or not that I'm aware of, but they look so flipping adorable and they just add something to the area. And then I added in the lighting, and I decided to use light blocks. I use light blocks for basically this entire thing, and I put it on about 13 because I didn't want full really bright. I just wanted enough brightness that it didn't look weird. And this is what I was talking about at the end of the last episode, using these copper doors in order to kind of help it blend in a bit. And it does. It's there and you can see it, but it's not like if I use acacia or something that's gonna really contrast it, because I don't want the doors contrasting the little housing biomes. I was mostly kind of playing it by ear though with how much got filled in. I mean, I think I just went in it and the words wow. I think at this point I just went, let's just fill the entire thing in with grass. And then that meant that I could work out on top of that where the different enclosures were going to sit in. I probably should have pre-planned a bit more because I got to doing the axolotls and was like, this looks really weird, but went with it anyways. It works. I like it actually now that it's done. I also wanted to make sure that Future Me knew that area next to it was also going to be any other jungle build. So that would be the wolves that you get in the jungles, pandas and ocelots. So they're going to be the next builds that we're working on. Basically going technically by biome. It started off as we're going to go by Minecraft biome, and then went to we'll just kind of go by what would make sense in the real world to be near each other, with the exception of sniffers. I don't know where I'm going to put sniffers. They're potentially going to be going between wolves and polar bears to try and add a buffer between that lot, because I don't want them trying to kill each other in their different pens, because that would get fun. Even though I know they can't get out, the last thing you want is people walking around the zoo and all you can see is them trying to kill each other. Anyways, going back to this, I marked out for the little parrot enclosure exactly where I wanted things to go, and yeah, I built a big glass window. The way that I'm generally working on, I need to stop saying so much, we go over this every time. To try and fill the interiors the most, obviously used a lot of trees because that contextually makes sense. So there's going to be a lot of trees. It's a lot of green. These next few episodes, until I can work out more Taylor Swift builds, are going to be a lot of green. There is I mean, once we get to the camels and the armadillos and stuff, we get less green. But this kind of is an experiment to see, have I learned anything from the last time I built a zoo about how to make the little enclosures look a hell of a lot more interesting than I have historically done? And I think the answer is yes. And obviously, you're not seeing it so much yet because it's interiors and they're small and not much is going on. But I think I have learned quite a bit in, 2 years I've been doing this now, causing chaos on the internet. So I ended up having to hand build a lot of my trees because I stupidly put a roof on and built the walls before deciding to spawn the trees. If you're going to do this, don't do that. It takes forever. I hate building trees. So yeah, I also managed to block off the door quite efficiently on this one by obviously putting in a very big tree. And I wanted there to be lots and lots of leaves coming down to try and really bulk out the enclosure. And I have a sneaky feeling that this is going to be a 2-part. Oh well, we're going with it. It's probably going to be a 2-part. I think the footage must be in the next one, but oh well, that is what it is. Apparently I didn't section these episodes out properly. My voice, what is it doing? There are a lot of episodes for this little series here. I guess it's not really a little series, it's a whole thing. Oh, I added cocoa beans. I haven't added cocoa beans to any of my other builds, and I need to go in and do it at some point. But yeah, plenty of cocoa beans. And then I think we're going to move on to doing the little bat enclosure. Oh yeah, this was going to be 2 parts, that actually makes sense now. So yeah, bat enclosure, or is it? Yeah, it is 2 parts. So, the bat enclosure, I wanted to build an actual cave, and obviously I wanted to include bats because they're so cute. I love them. And I also didn't realise Minecraft had changed the way bats looked, which says a lot about how I don't play survival Minecraft. This world is a peaceful world, so I don't go in caves. And then I added the glass to the front. So I wanted to build them a proper cave, and I think this was potentially one of the easier enclosures to do because it was basically just building kind of a cut open tube out of stone, texturing it up a bit, throwing in some rails and things, more of the pointy pokey thingies, and then throw in some bats, or not because I didn't add the animals at this point. I added the animals in the next episode. You don't get to see any animals in here till the next episode. Enjoy the internet. I'll see you all again. For you lot next week, I'll be voiceovering again in 2 weeks' time. Goodbye the internet. I hope you have a good day.